Mike Sierra 1 can't handle the truth.
You're a cheat and a swindler. That's what you are. How can you do a thing like this?
I am authorized to assure you these rumors are based on hysteria and are absolutely false. I repeat, these rumors are absolutely false.
Welcome back, and thank you for joining me once again as I take another look into the relentless lies of Mike Zeroh. If you haven't seen any of my videos before, I'll just let you know that all I try to do is call into question the validity of the claims Zeroh makes, and use what would be regarded as common sense to negate what he has said in the past, against what he is coming out with in the present. Often as not, these expose the lies he has told, or how he uses common knowledge that is circulating on the net, but decides to make it look or seem like he has somehow got first dibs on the news, which he passes off as some form of leak that only he knows about. There are a few things I want to go over in this video, so let's get to it. I want to start with the re-emergence of a story that I covered a year ago, and that's the firing of Gina Carano. Like all stories from Zeroh, they will find their way back into his bargain basement bin of news that he has used so many times before, and on the 15th of December, he went back to it yet again. We all know that she was let go at pretty much the beginning of 2021, and Zeroh pummeled that story into the ground from the word go. Then began the Gina is coming back to the Mandalorian Season 3 videos, for as long as people wanted to listen. In February she did an interview with the Daily Wire's Ben Shapiro, but for as much as she spoke about her time at Lucas and Disney, she never actually called anyone out, even though Zeroh was exclaiming otherwise in his clickbait videos. Made-up story after made-up story just kept on coming, again with no receipts to give any validity to what he was saying. He also claimed she would be doing other interviews in late March, that was apparently cancelled and moved to April, then it was May, June, July and finally August. Needless to say, none of those happened. In August of 2021, after several months of telling you that John and Dave were working hard to bring her back on board for Season 3 of Mando, Zeroh had to move the goalposts to accommodate the false narrative he had been expelling for months.
Lucasfilm spokesperson, she was questioned about Gina Carano's return in The Mandalorian Season 3 since both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have been working hard to bring her back into the series. Now, the Lucasfilm spokesperson went on to explain that though we understand that there are fans of the character and the actress, we have made the final decision to not bring her back for The Mandalorian Season 3 for a number of reasons.
And what were those number of reasons? Well, the first reason was this announcement that Gina would soon be working on her first project since leaving the Star Wars franchise. That was August 12, 2021. The second came in October of the same year, that she was to begin filming Terror on the Prairie. And finally, the third reason was that Zeroh had made the whole thing up, spokesperson, fake interview, and all. Gina had to give her decision to come back by September, so Zeroh had no course of action to make it seem like they changed their minds about her inclusion in Series 3.
Now, creator Jon Favreau is said to be the one who pushed for Carano's rehiring for both Mando Season 4 and this mystery project that will be announced this November, and that the higher-ups over at Disney agreed to allow Carano to return as Cara Dune. However, it's currently unclear as to how big of a role she will have in the 4th season of The Mandalorian. Disney and Lucasfilm are set to make this announcement at Star Wars Celebration in 2022 of the return of Cara Dune in the Star Wars universe.
Needless to say, she never appeared at Celebration and there wasn't any reference made about her return in her absence. And here is the latest iteration of Clickbait that will make this fake story about Gina coming back pretty close to 2.5 years long.
It was already in Favreau and Filoni's interest of rehiring Gina Carano from Mando Season 3 that eventually fell apart. However, their backup plan was to get her back for the 4th season that is still in the works. And as of now, Bob Iger recently approved and is giving Gina Carano open arms to return as Cara Dune in the 4th season of The Mandalorian in an attempt to heal the Star Wars IP and the brand overall when it comes to merchandise and its audience. Favreau and Filoni are already, of course, making concept art for Gina Carano as Cara Dune still to this day for Mando 4, and Chapek already approved her rehiring from Mando 4 before he was even fired. However, now Iger is said to be picking up Chapek's approval of bringing back Gina. Gina's return is now said to be 100% all nothing more than a personal decision on her end if she wants to come back or not for the fans, and for the character that she portrayed in both the first and second season. Bob Iger is already in the process of rehiring Gina Carano, in giving her up to 8 months to make an official decision on her return to the franchise.
Gina could have come back multiple times already if the stories were true to begin with, but Zeroh, as he always will do, is change the parameters of the stories without a second thought, just to try and make or keep them relevant. And now we move to yet another happy set of circumstances for Zeroh, or as I think I should start to call it, the fortuitous syndrome, because that's what this next video reeks of. In another video I made, I said the following. At some point, someone, somewhere, more than likely pointed out that Mena Massoud would make a very good Ezra Bridger in live-action Star Wars. It could even have been that actors and actresses who become heavily searched on the web, then become the base of Zeroh's lies, because they are flavor of the month. He has done it with numerous people over the years, and this example is no different. That clip came from my video dated November the 1st of this year, in which I clearly suggest that Zeroh will latch onto celebrities that are trending at the time, and somehow use them as a basis for his clickbait. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Exhibit A.
Now, it's noted that both John and Dave have already brought this up to the Disney board, that they would find it very smart to bring in Cavil to become a part of either one of their Mandoverse projects, or perhaps one of the upcoming Old Republic films in the Star Wars franchise, that they are contacting, of course, by Disney, and the board members of Lucasfilm have actually gotten contact with Cavil already, surprisingly, and has held great interest in signing on for a role to the Star Wars universe.
It was at this point I wanted to say, how lucky do you have to be that the IP you make up stuff about wants to bring in Henry Cavil to the fold? But not only that, but John and Dave already have a mysterious character in the pipeline for yet another undisclosed project, and they want him on board for that or even something else. It's the fortuitous syndrome yet again, or was it Zeroh scrubbing the bottom of the bargain barrel once more in the hope of finding something tasty? We got this covered ran with the whole Star Wars thing 2 days before Zeroh, but frankly WGTC are about as reliable as a chocolate teapot. And here's one last thing I want to say before I draw a line under this episode. There is a load of news circulating around the Ahsoka show at the moment, and has been for some time. Zeroh has jumped on the bandwagon, of course, and will be bringing out a good many videos in due course. But remember, he will not be bringing you news or leaks, but the obvious, that surrounds both Ahsoka and Anakin's story. If you know your lore and how things pan out for these two and others around them, chances are it's genuine. But if you start hearing stuff that sounds off, the chances are he's gonna be making that up. And one last thing, I finally worked out what those green arrows are on Zeroh's thumbnails. If you take the 3 main directions they point and overlay them, you get the national symbol of recycling, which I thought fitted him perfectly in terms of his delivery in Star Wars updates. That's all I have for now. Until the next time, take care and I'll see you again soon.